If you are enjoying this podcast and other podcasts on the Dragon Wagon Radio Network, be sure to check out the Dragon Wagon Shop. Awesome t-shirts and mugs from your favorite shows so you can tout your podcast pride all while supporting your favorite podcast network. And make sure to check it often for new items and limited time designs. Shop now at dragonwagonradio.com/shop and get your dragon swag on.
Krista! Hey, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Really? Because you seem a little...
I said I'm fine.
Okay, well, we all love you, so if you need to talk, we're...
She's fine. She's fine.
Hey, y'all, it's Krista. Hi. So I'm fine. I'm fine. No, I'm fine. I really am. I got to sit down with Erin Van Buren today. For those of you that don't know who she is, you will, because this magical, wonderful woman is going to move mountains. I just know it. So I came across her Instagram page and I started reading all of these quotes that she had, and it spoke to me on such a deep level. And I was like, wow, these are really powerful. And she has this amazing journey that we discuss on the podcast. And you know what? It's funny because both of us kind of came from the same tumultuous kind of energy, I guess you could say, growing up. And look, I'm doing this podcast because I love to share my journey with y'all. And, I think we all feel not so alone when you realize that the same shit happens to everyone, and just in different ways and different circumstances, but the feelings sometimes are the same. And I think that's what her new book, The Planet of Letting Go, is all about. It's about letting go. And we talk about all of that, like just let the fuck go, no matter what it is, of anger, of fear, of pain, and try to create it into something else. So she's all about solution. I'm all about solution. We get pretty deep. Literally, it was so much fun talking to her. It's like these little quotes that fill you up, like you just read an entire chapter. That's the best way I can put it. It's kind of like when you have like one of those fiber bars, and you're like, I don't know, it's just a fiber bar, and then you drink some water with it, and you're like, wow, I'm kind of full. It's kind of like that, but much better. That was a terrible analogy. I bet she's not going to use that in her bio. Okay, let's put it this way. It's like seeing a relatively small penis and getting great satisfaction. No, that's not. You know what? I'm not doing good with the analogies, but I will say this. Erin is now one of my favorite people. I cannot wait for y'all to meet her. And, we're doing a little contest. So listen to the end. And one of you guys is going to get a autographed copy of her book, The Planet of Letting Go. I'll even sign it too. Anyway, super excited. So let me know what you think. And as always, if you like the show, leave a comment on iTunes and rate it like 5 stars because you love me. Okay, without further ado, here's Erin Van Buren. Erin, what's up?
I'm just finally happy to be here.
Oh my God, me too. I'm so happy. So we've just been sitting here rapping out for like a good 15 minutes. And I was like, I think we should start recording.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think we
absolutely.
should start
because
recording.
The conversation was like
exactly
radio
what everything is about.
So
yeah. And I mean, look, I think you are fucking magical. I think you're magical. I think the way that you write, I've literally been telling all of my friends, I'm like, not only follow her, she's at Paper Crumbs, and like not only follow her, but get her book, look at her stuff, and the quotes that you write, the things that you write, they are the things that I've posted and the things that I've seen, they speak to me in a way that makes I've said it like on some of my posts, like it sets my soul on fire.
Yeah, I love
like
that.
It makes me
That's
think.
the biggest compliment.
Oh God, but you are amazing. I mean, I just want to talk a little bit about all this stuff because they're short. They're these short, powerful messages, and everybody can take something from it. And literally anybody out there with The Planet of Letting Go, Erin's new book, and I'm talking to the audience and you at the same time. It's something that literally every single person can relate to. There's not a person on the planet that isn't going through some shit or
Yeah.
hasn't gone through some shit, and you make it easy for everybody, which is awesome.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think writing in short form, which was actually really difficult for me when I was younger, I could only ever write long poetry and long stories and things like that. And when I learned that our society has like a 2-second attention span, along with myself, I knew that I had to reach people very quickly. Oh, I put it right there.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
better.
Okay. Haven't had a mic in front of my face in forever. No, but I have to reach people quickly. People are busy. There's a reason why we don't have a quick attention span anymore, and we need things that are going to get to our brain and to our hearts and to our souls very quickly and hit us and punch us in the gut.
Yeah.
And I thought it would be easy to write in short form and hit people quickly, and it's totally not. And so it's been a really fun journey for me to learn how to do that in such a short amount of time. But this book is very special to me because it is a complete and total guide and map to walk people through the process of letting go. And there's not one person on earth who does not need to learn how to let go over and over and over again throughout their life.
Well, and that you just hit it on the head. Like you can learn to let go of anger or pain, whatever it is. But things always come in because we're like my belief system is like we're here to expand. So we're experiencing all these crazy things in life.
Yes.
But we don't have to beat ourselves up over it, even though we do. And I am so guilty for it. Like if something happens in my life, I am self-aware enough to know that I've created it. And somehow through my thought patterns, my actions, just my belief systems, whatever it is, that somehow I'm vibrating this energy that is attracting
That's
this.
bringing it in. Yeah.
And I've had some crazy
Oh,
shit
yeah.
happen even over the past couple of days because I've been scattered and I've been meditating, but I haven't meditated in about 5 days. Huge difference.
Oh, yeah. That's a big difference.
Huge difference. Like things are weird. Weird people are coming into my life, like really passive aggressive, weird people where I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You know?
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my God, that's
I'm
me.
totally attracted to
That's
that right
totally
now.
me.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, I pretty much have the same belief system that the energy that we put out, we're going to attract into ourselves. So if we're busy walking around our life, hating the shit out of ourselves, we're going to get people that are going to come in and they're not going to love us like we want to be loved. Or if we're busy, but there's also that other side of it where I recognize the things that were done to me. And this is where it becomes difficult. I'm able to recognize that it was a true wrong that was done to me that I was not expecting and I did not attract, but there was a lesson there that I needed to learn for the rest of my life. And so I respect everything that was done to me. I have had some gnarly shit happen to me. I've had traumas and things you couldn't imagine. And that's why I'm able to write the shit that I write. But every time I go through it, now I think I'm at a place in my life, and I have been since I started putting it out to the public, of now I get to tell people how I'm walking through it. I get to say the solution, which I truly believe in. If you're going to write the mess and the mayhem and the horrible things you're going to go through, tell people the solution too, because we need each other. There's so many lonely people in this world and people who are lost. We need somebody to tell us, dude, like I'm right there too. Right. And I'm always having to learn how to let go again because listen, I've had deaths and all sort of crazy things and I've had to learn how to let go of that. And then the next minute you lose a job or a project that you're working on and you have to let go of that. And the next minute some bitch breaks my heart and I have to let go of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I say that respectfully, but
of course
we're always having to learn.
Right. But, and my letting go part, and I think I think anybody that needs to let go of anything can look at this and take what they need to let go of into it. And mine is letting go of my own, and I'm going to say this, like whether like that deep like self-loathing pattern that I have that was created from like way long ago that I'm like, dude, that's not even mine. But
it's not mine anymore.
But it's kind of stays there in this weird belief system. And I'm starting to find through comedy, through just turning my own life around and having that self-awareness that all of that stuff absolutely doesn't serve me, and it's turning into such a self-love, you know what I mean? Which is cool. And it's like that forgiveness, and it's not even forgiveness on the outside. It's forgiving myself.
Yourself.
And that's the most important thing.
That's the biggest thing. And you're literally saying what I explained to people in this book, and what I explain even on the back of it. I think I say something like, oh no, it's in the very beginning. It's a letter that I write to everybody before
I wanted
they
to talk about that. So I'm glad that you're reading that. I wanted to talk about that.
Yeah. Do you want me to?
Yeah, please.
Is it okay if I read it?
Please
It's super
do.
quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you guys first open this book, I write an arrival letter in here, and I also give everybody a departure letter. Both of my books are actually designed very in a certain way that I have made it creative. So my first book was in a menu format, and I wrote it like different sections on what you're hungry for.
Oh, that's cool.
So it was brain food for big kids, and you could go to the section if you're hungry for inspiring about love, or if you're hungry for I'm fucking pissed off about love right now.
I love that.
So I did it in those sections. And this one I've done as a map to the planet of letting go. And it's actually in a format that will walk you through the this one, you don't go to each section separately, even though you could, but I recommend reading it from front to back. So when you get here, I put your arrival letter, and it says, "Welcome. There is magic in the world of letting go. You will wake up one day and realize you are worth so much more than what you have been allowing. And you will come to a fork in the road, leaving you with two choices. Stay in your misery or let go of whatever or whoever is making you miserable. It could be a lover or a friend or even a family member. In many cases, it will be your own behaviors, addictions, and character defects that you will be having to let go of. It will not feel good at first. It's going to hurt. But guess what? It's supposed to. How else will you learn, let alone remember, to never put yourself through heartbreak again? We break our own hearts when we do not let go and change. And what happens when we do let go, you ask? When we do change, we become better, kinder, more powerful, confident human beings. Who wouldn't want that? I wish you peace on your journey of letting go," and then blah, blah, blah. And then I say, "Love, Aaron." But
yeah, that's amazing.
It's about self, really, at the end of the day. You know, shit was done to us when we were little kids, and we didn't attract those things. Nothing should ever be done when you're a little kid. But how we react to that later is on us.
Dude, what do you think of this, though? I have a question, because I sometimes feel like we come into this world. Not sometimes. Let me rephrase that. I don't sometimes feel. I've kind of adapted this belief that we came into this world to experience what we needed to experience. And it's not that we attracted it because we're bad or whatever, but it's all kind of part of the bigger picture of what we're coming in to experience. So I had some crazy shit happen to me when I was little, really shitty family life.
Yeah.
And like sexual stuff and weird stuff and all this thing and fighting and just all of it, right?
Yeah.
And you would think, of course, that's not my fault. Of course, I didn't do it. But my God, what I can give to people now, and when I get to talk to children that come here or kids that come here, and I can say, hey, I've been in these places, and I have like a testimony say, you don't have to believe that shit. There's like a big, and I haven't found my calling on that yet, other than I know that it feels good to be able to pull people out of the insidious bullshit thinking, which is exactly why I'm so in love with you and what you do, because it's the same. It speaks to me in that way. I'm like, God, it's like, I feel like I could have written it if I had your brain, you know what I mean? Like if I could. And so it's like, I read these things and I'm like, oh, these are awesome.
Well, you have that in the comedy form. Oh yeah, at the end there's notes, and I ask people questions of like, what did you do today to take care? Oh yeah, that one was.
She's looking at the book, by the way. I'm opening the book, and she's
there's a note section in the back, and there's questions that I ask everybody, like, what did you do today to take care of yourself and to not invite toxicity into your life anymore? So I get pretty brutal with people in here, and I call it a very loving ass kicking, and that's because I really do believe that. Listen. Some of us are built to go through horrifying things.
Right.
And get through them so that later we can tell one person. I still have the same belief. If I stopped today, if everybody all of a sudden hated me and I had to shut off all my social media and nobody wanted to read me anymore, I can go to sleep good knowing that I know that I did change one life and somebody out there didn't hurt themselves because they read something that said, hey, you know, please, you're worth it no matter what
Right.
was wrong done to you. And here's maybe how you can get through it and
Right.
make it to tomorrow.
And and you know what happens a lot, and I see it a lot everywhere. You know, it takes. You can't. It's an old saying. I have a very big codependency issue.
Oh my God, me too.
It's been my thing my whole life, and of course,
It's like
I
my
do.
right hand man.
Well, that's probably why you speak to me. So all you codependent motherfuckers out there.
Oh, yeah.
Hey. But there was like, I was always, I knew that I just wanted people, if I could love somebody enough, they would change. If I would love
Oh
my
God.
mom
Hey,
enough,
I can fix
they
you.
would change.
Yeah.
Right. And I would, and or whoever, if I was
Mhm.
if I was prettier, my dad would like me or whatever
Oh,
it was.
yeah.
And the thing is that's all bullshit, obviously. But
Well,
we
yeah.
like do that victim-y thing. We become such victims in our life, and it's so crazy. But people change when they're ready, and not 1 second sooner.
Oh my
And
God, yeah.
that's, I think, within my with my thing, and I still fucking do it. By the way, I still have relationships where I'm like, okay, if I just keep explaining and defending, maybe they're gonna understand. And then I realize, do not ever explain or
No.
defend.
Yeah.
Stop it and just praise and love, because that's like, you know what I mean? Like, into yourself and seeing the bit. And that's a hard thing to do.
It's really hard, and there's everybody likes to complicate everything, but everything really is simple. I like to complicate everything. I get super psychological with things, and I'm like, oh, they're like this because this was done to them when they were younger, and so when they're mean to me, it's because of what their mother did to them, and they don't mean it. And if I love them enough, it'll undo what their mother did to them,
Right.
and then they're going to have this miraculous turnaround, and it will all be because of me. And really, if you think about codependency and people pleasing, it's one of the most complicated in the sense of it's tricky, and it's one of the most selfish character defects. And I've had to
Yep.
admit that.
I know. It's
And I actually
manipulation.
wrote a quote about it a long time ago
Ooh,
saying,
what is it?
people pleasing is dangerous because you never know if you actually love somebody or if you just want them to love you.
Ooh, that's amazing. And that is so
and I don't even think
true.
I quoted it properly, but it was that gist,
Yeah.
right? And it's true. We don't know. And that's what happens when we're walking around this world and we're trying to undo what was done to us by loving others so hard and trying to fix them.
Yeah.
Really, at the end of the day, it's that we don't want to turn inward and fix ourselves.
Right. And
Because it's
yeah,
scary.
scary.
And
yeah.
even success is scary. It's not even just failure. Like I'm what if I'm not, the failure part is like, what if I'm not pretty enough? I have that issue. Like I've always told
Oh,
people my
Jesus.
self-image issues. Like what if I'm not pretty enough? What if I'm not thin enough? What if I'm not this and this and this? You know what? No, fuck that. Fuck me for saying that. I have learned, and I tell all women this, look in the mirror and look inward at yourself and ask yourself, would I date me? And if you say no, then you got some shit to work on about yourself. And this is one of
Right.
my ass kickings I give people. If you say no, then fucking work on your shit. If you say yes, then only accept people into your life who would say, fuck yes, I want to date you too. You're fucking amazing.
Right.
And they should treat you that way because you're treating you that way.
Right. Everybody would agree with that.
Yeah.
The hardest thing is actually, is incorporating that into your life.
It's so hard.
And so
Yeah.
it's those things. I am so aware of that. I was just talking to a friend of mine last night, one of my best friends, and she was talking about this situation where, there was a guy that she liked and something happened and that relationship didn't work out. And she kind of took it very personal. And it was like this whole thing. And she was like, why do I keep going back to this and beating myself up? And why do I keep doing it? And I know that this isn't what I want, but yet she still has that empty void. And I was
Yeah.
like, I do it all the time.
Mhm.
I'm still trying to fix something that, I'm still trying to, and I tell myself all the time, wow, this isn't doing you any good. You're
Yeah.
beating your head up against a wall. Yet at the same time, certain things I can't get out of, whether it's, but professional relationships or friendships or whatever it is.
Absolutely.
And I see it because I go, I know I can change this. And really at the end of the day, it's
You
changing
can't.
us, but there's gotta be which is the whole thing is it's like that workout, right? Like every day you got to fucking work it
Yeah.
out. And I think it's like, well, and it's true, like reading stuff and surrounding yourself with people that, that's another thing too, are when what I find, and this one friend that I'm talking about, sometimes we would get on the phone with each other and we would complain and talk and get mad at other people, and neither one of us would feel good when we hung up.
Oh my God, I know.
And
That's actually a current thing that I've noticed that I want to make sure I stop in my life, which is because we're all
Shit-talking.
guilty. It's
Yeah.
gossiping.
Me too.
Yeah. Because you have to pay attention to a few things there. The person that you're gossiping with could very well turn around and be doing the same shit with you.
Right, but
A.
it's one of your quotes that I posted too.
Yeah.
What was it? It was something about the people that something. It's a mirror. It's
Oh, the mirror. Yeah. That one.
I
Yeah.
did not do that quote justice
Yeah.
at all. You know,
I'm
it's the
even
mirror
blanking out.
thing.
No, but I know exactly what you're saying. And then, but the other thing also is you really, you're not putting a good energy out in the world when you're doing that. You know, it's just, it's
Yeah.
bad and it's really shitty and it's going to come back to you. What I've learned that simplifies things for me when it comes to letting go of even little tiny things, like today I have to let go of gossiping. I'm not going to participate in that conversation. But our people pleasing side says if that person comes to me, if this friend comes to me and starts saying, and I say, I don't really want to talk, however you word it, I don't really want to talk about people today. I'm trying to put like good vibes out there, whatever. That part in the back of your head, the people pleasing, is telling you, oh, I might lose this friend because I'm not doing what we always do, which is like shit talk or whatever. We're always worrying about what people think about us, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, I have to tell myself this, which is if something is not serving me right now for a positive, in a positive way, or if somebody is hurting me, or if my heart is broken, or I'm not getting what I needed out of this situation, and not in a selfish way, in a healthy way, I'm going to let go of it. And if it is meant for
Mhm.
me, meaning if they are going to change on their own, not by my doing, later in their life, they will come back to me if it is meant to be.
Right.
Or that job will come back to me if it is meant to be.
Exactly. It's letting
But
go
we
of the
think we
control.
have, it's almost like we think we're like gods, right? Because we're like, well, I could change it. Us like obsessively trying to fix things or control things. It's like, who the fuck are we? Like, we're not God. You know what I mean? We're not
Right.
the universe. We're not a power greater than ourselves.
Right. Well, we do that a lot. Like I know I had an eating disorder for a really long
So did
time, which
I.
was a huge control thing.
Oh,
and
it's massive control.
and it was like I can't control anything else or how it is, but I can control this. And it really didn't control anything. You know what
totally
I mean?
think it is though, and it's almost like
Yeah.
drugs and eating disorder
Yeah,
is. Yeah, totally.
I've done everything. I've
Oh,
done
yeah.
every part of addictions. I used to smoke. I used to do that.
Mhm.
Whatever. I've done drugs. I've
Oh yeah, me too.
early on, and I think when I was younger. My God, I ran away when I was really young, and I was doing drugs from a very early age, and then
Mhm.
stopped. But it was like this up and down kind of thing. Like, what is my escape? And it's almost like
Escape,
in those
yeah.
moments, like having to escape because you can't control it. But there was nobody there. If there was a you back there in my life, or if there was a you for you back then in your life, and you had those tools, which is what is so fucking cool about what's happening in the world right now, is the world is coming into a different time
Yeah,
where people are actually caring about how other people feel.
I know, it's crazy.
And there's so much out there. And what you're doing is you're talking to people as humans, not condescending, or you just need to breathe.
Oh my God.
Everything will be okay.
This too
And-
shall pass.
Yeah, and it's like this thing where you're like,
My
yeah,
God.
but, and you're like, fucking breathe. And you're like, oh, I can hear that. And
Yeah.
some people, and maybe that's not somebody's cup of tea, but it's mine.
It's
And-
mine. It's
and-
most people's, whether they want to admit it or
Right?
not. Like, hey, fucking breathe.
It humanizes.
You're not alone.
It
all right?
humanizes you. Yeah. It
Yeah.
humanizes everybody else's feelings.
Yeah.
And everybody, when they're with their closest friends, they're going to be in a different way than they are if they just met a group of people and have to speak at a TED Talk,
Yeah.
I mean, most people.
Yeah.
I would hope that I would be as authentic as possible, but I still might be like, and breathe. you
Yeah,
know?
I know. If we're worried or whatever. But yeah, if you had the me voice when you were younger and I had the me voice when I was younger and somebody came along, how much different our lives would be. We wouldn't have had
Oh
to
my
have tested.
God.
But at the
I wouldn't
same
have been
time,
such
it's
a
like,
victim. I wouldn't have put myself in those
yeah,
situations.
yeah,
I wouldn't
totally.
have been so small. I wouldn't have been so weak. I bet you the bad shit that happened wouldn't have happened.
Yeah, probably. But then you wouldn't be able to send the messages that you're sending to people today through what you're doing. But
I know.
But I also, it's so funny because I struggle with that because it's like, well, then I wouldn't be who I am today, da 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 da. But no, some of those situations
And
I
you're like,
totally could have gone without.
I could have done, but then as you go, right? So vibrationally, which is the whole thing, and some people do not believe in law of attraction, and I'm not struggling with it, but I'm trying to understand it better because it really speaks to me that my thoughts create my reality. And I know that if I have a belief system and that's what I believe and I keep thinking about it and I believe that the world is a scary place, that's exactly the way that the world is going to show up,
Yeah.
which was my belief, and it sounds like it was yours too.
You manifest it, really.
And that's why the things keep happening, because you're stuck at this lower vibration.
Mhm.
And look, I tell my family things sometimes and I'm like, I just wish you were more evolved and you'd raise your vibration, and they just wish that I'd stop saying shit like, I wish you were more evolved and raise. They're like, Shh, what are you talking about? Just shut
What
up.
the hell are you talking about?
In La La Land, in a
Yeah.
bubble. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I am, but I think
It's really science, though,
Yeah.
if you think about it. It is science.
Yeah.
Because if we want to boil it down to the psychology of it, it's like, okay, remove the vibrational and all that wording or whatever. Our experience breeds perspective, right?
Right.
So if my experiences, I have chosen to make my perspective that the world is scary, then that is how the world is going to look and act towards me. And I am going to, on a psychological level, take everything as a letdown or scary, or they hurt me, or they this or that.
yeah.
Whereas somebody else could have taken an experience and transformed it into, oh, the world's a fucking challenge and I want to fucking go for it.
Right.
They chose that. So really it's all the same
It's
thing.
what we were taught.
I could change that exact thing into vibrational.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So
It is what we were taught. I have a tattoo on my forearm that says, in the strength of my belief, my faith will make it so. I got it years ago. And I didn't even know really what it meant. I just knew it had to do with fear and love.
mhm.
And it's become so much more to me. And it's not like I need it on my forearm to see it, but I really like the font.
No, I love it. And it's in a good spot too.
And it was one of those things. In the strength of my belief, my faith will make it so. And where that came from was, I have been, or was, like I was for so long, I was wrapped up in so much fear that what I believe, I had so much faith in fear.
yeah.
That everything was scary, that my belief in that made it so. And then once I started to switch over to love, which has been a rocky fucking road for me,
Oh
because
my God, it's so not easy.
I was stuck. And it's funny. I was talking to somebody this morning, and I was like, I get so hard on myself, even for like the old me, like the old fears or things that I would react to that I
Mhm.
really was overreacting to,
Yeah.
like things
Oh,
that
yeah,
I'm like,
I've
oh
done that.
God, I'm being crazy. Like, what the hell? And going into those places and going, everybody, I think that when people say, oh, he's never going to change or she's never going to change, I always say they could,
Yeah, no, they could.
because
Seriously.
I know I went from this place where I was so angry at the world and I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
I just thought everybody else was against me because
Mhm.
I was the victim. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah.
And it was like,
You were the center of your universe, and during that time,
what a shitty universe.
you were hurting, and bad things
Right.
were happening to you. So everybody must be like that.
Yeah,
Really, that's a child's mindset, which is fine because we were
Totally.
children when that shit happened,
and
right?
we don't. That's a great point.
And
yeah.
I tell people all the time, children are brilliant. I go back to I actually write a lot of imagination and stuff like that's my major forte is children's stories and fantasy and all that, because children really do know the meaning of life.
Right.
They are themselves through and through until they learn later from adults to stop being themselves.
right.
And you are worthless and you are whatever they're being told. They go, oh, okay, let me unplant these really awesome, cool seeds that were given to me at birth, which is I'm cool and I'm, and I'm going to plant in I'm worthless. I'm a piece of shit. I'm all of this. So then you grow up and you think, oh, well, everybody must think of me that way then.
right.
Because the most important people in my life when I was little thought of me that way.
Right. And so that voice in your head becomes an exact replica of your mother.
Yeah.
so
it's no wonder that everybody's walking around. I tell everybody, I say, listen, everybody's so worried about, you're worried about what everybody's thinking about you, but everybody's so busy worrying about what you're thinking about them. So just
That's
stop
true.
giving a shit because
yeah.
you really can't. I mean, there's a thin line between, don't like not give a shit so much to where you're a total dick, like
Well,
you
and some
keep your
people-
morals.
Well, there's actually there's two sides. There's the people pleasing codependent, and then there's the narcissistic avoidant.
Oh yeah, they'll
fuck
never
you.
change because
You really don't think so?
Sociopaths they're incapable.
Well, there's a difference between sociopath and just completely unaware, and like
Yeah,
some of the,
totally.
some of the people in
Mhm.
my life that I experience, because I look at and I go, and because I'm not getting the love from them that I want, or the relationship, the communication,
Yes.
the filling up. I look to those people so much, and at the end of the day, I swear to God, my connection with that source energy is the most important thing in my life, as opposed to me always looking outside for those people to fill the void for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
They can't.
Ye-
So what I'm looking for in my life is definitely like the love of my life. Like that person can be the love of my life, but nobody can ever take the place of that connection, because
In me, that void. I've filled
Yeah.
that void myself.
right.
And whoever the love of my life like when my girlfriend and I met each other, we were both coming out of a really rough, like we were both healing from what had been done to us and what we had done to ourselves in our past relationships, and we healed together.
Wait, what's her name? Did you?
No, yeah, Jessica.
Jessica.
Barros. Yeah,
Yeah,
she did.
okay.
She designed my cover. She drew my
She
cover.
did that, and
she's
she's a tattoo artist.
Yeah, she did all my tattoos.
I followed her on
Yeah, she's
Instagram.
badass.
It seems badass. I can't wait.
Oh,
to
she's
meet
awesome.
her.
But we healed together. You know what I mean? And we both say we're not the people that we were once before. We did a lot of stupid shit and attracted a lot of bad people. But as
Right.
far as like the narcissists and all of that, I believe I think people throw the word sociopath around a little too much
I
now.
think so too, and narcissist.
Because some people are just assholes and they're not meaning to be assholes. And some people are self-involved because of what was
Self-involved.
done to them.
and
And they
fear.
could change one
Yeah.
day. It doesn't mean that you have to fucking accept it in your life right now.
That's a really great point.
Yeah.
And that's when you talk about some of the quotes that you have in
Yes.
here, which I should have like marked some of these. You deserve a love that feels like time travel while standing still. Like you've known them in every life and you're just now
And
remembering.
You're just now remembering. Yeah. This is the last chapter. This is a new planet, a new you, which is what I want everybody to accept now. Now that you've done all of this, which is how you got yourself there, all the shit, how you've been hurt. Now I want you to think this way.
And just so you know, this is another one of my favorites that I saw on your page. The right hands will hold you like a breath underwater. The rest will lose you like sand.
Yes.
And I mean, and at the end of the day, every single one of these quotes can be internally just for yourself,
yeah,
right?
for whatever
Like,
anybody needs it to be.
Because
You know what
I
I
can
mean?
hold myself like that, like,
Yes.
and it sounds so cheesy. And I bet there's like people that are listening like, oh, Jesus, but it's true.
No, it's true.
like
We do that.
self-love.
Usually the people who are cynical or say, oh, Jesus, or they roll their eyes are the ones who actually like relate to that shit the most,
Yeah.
but they secretly don't want anybody to know.
or yeah.
And I love them
exactly.
for it. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
one day they might soften up a little bit, but it's true.
Ooh.
We hurt ourselves more than anything. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I got some. I
These are
love
good
punching people in the
ones.
gut. It's like
Yeah.
my favorite thing in the whole wide world.
Ooh, you're chasing after balloons that don't even belong in your sky. Let them go.
Yeah.
I mean,
And the other thing too is people get so mad, and I did too. I wrote probably for like a whole 6 months. Most of my posts were like angry relationship posts from some shit I had gone through in the past, and it was good. I got it out of my system. I needed to go through that. But I tell people, just because somebody doesn't want you doesn't mean they're an asshole, doesn't mean they're a narcissist, doesn't mean they're a sociopath, doesn't mean any of these things. It means they're not for you.
right,
And let them go, and that's okay.
right.
You deserve, don't keep trying to make them love you. You deserve somebody who just loves you.
It's like that Bonnie Raitt song, I can't make you love me.
Yeah,
if
oh my
you
God,
don't." You're like,
yes.
yeah, as a matter of fact, nope, you can't. Nope.
Yeah,
Because
no.
that would be a little crazy. That's when you get the batshit crazy label. If you
Yeah.
listen to some of the songs out there, you're like, that sounds a little batshit crazy.
Yeah, that sounds like totally about shit. And good for them for fucking, getting that out there. But we feel like that sometimes,
Yes.
I've been crazy in my life before. I've reacted to some shit way wrong. I've hurt
my God.
myself in
Me too.
situations that are terrible. I've been so heartbroken before that I've gone out and drunk and drugged myself to pieces.
Right.
Because really it's like when even if, and I tell people all the time too, I came from a very I went through a lot of abuse. I went through a lot of really bad things that nobody should ever have to go through.
Was it like sexual abuse and everything?
Like everything.
Okay,
Yeah. And I'm very open about all of it too. I don't mind talking about it. But
no, I mean, I think a lot of people have been through it. It's
a lot of people have been
and a lot
through
of
it,
people
and it's not
haven't,
really
but-
taboo anymore. Thank God
No.
we're coming into a world where we're now feel very comfortable talking about it. And
Yeah.
look at what's going on now, and the time's up now. The
Yeah.
women who are coming out and saying, "No, this was done to me." Like, I'm so proud of everybody right now, the women
Yes.
and the men who are coming out and saying, "I was hurt as a child," and I have kept quiet about it. Good for you.
Yeah.
Fucking roar about it now, because you're
Yeah.
saving somebody's life out
Yeah.
there. You know.
The more people that come together with
But
that,
My
stronger
point is
they
that
get.
you don't have to. I always tell people, you could still take my stuff, even if nothing was done to you as a kid. I don't hold myself on some sort of pedestal because, oh, terrible things were done to me and now I'm a poet and I'm able to write so awesome because I had a really rough life. No, like, I know people who didn't go through what I went through and they still have those same. We're
Ditto.
human beings.
Ditto.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know people who hate themselves just because they fucking hate themselves.
And I know people exactly, and people that kind of did have not the greatest time, but they don't, they didn't turn into a victim either, and
Yeah.
they're badass motherfuckers.
yeah.
And
I'm like, dude,
how did you do that?
totally wish I would have done that a
I'm
long time
such
ago.
a late bloomer
Yeah,
when it comes
I'm a late bloomer
to
too.
all of this. Like,
Mhm.
I really am, which makes it. I'm such a child inside, like emotionally. Like, I really
Yeah,
am. Like,
so
I'm
am
like
I.
12 years old most
Yeah.
of the time. And
I think that's most artists.
do you think it's
Yeah,
like an
that's
artist
why we're
thing?
able to create. Children create and play.
Ah, that's true.
And we're still able to do that. So I try to take the positive thing from it. Other people adult very well. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't think I'll ever adult well.
Are you good with like finances and stuff?
I've gotten better
Okay,
because
I just
had
wondered
to.
if that was it. I'm terrible at them. So.
But I'm still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not great.
Yeah.
But I've done better because I helped take care of my sister for a long time. My little sister is everything to
How
me.
much younger is she?
She's 8 years younger than me.
Okay.
And she actually, my sister's a good example. She adults really fucking well, and she takes things and says, oh, this bad stuff, whatever happened, and I'm now she's in nursing school. She's doing all this really badass stuff, and I look at her and I'm like, and she makes like awesome relationship decisions and stuff, and I'm like,
oh my God.
wow.
How did you do that?
And I always tell her, like, I'll take credit for
Exactly.
that.
Well,
You
that's what-
learned from me.
That's what I was about to say. Take that. Take that.
No, she does give me some like credit
Yeah.
with stuff sometimes. We're best friends. But I'm like, wow, good for her for doing that. But I think some of us have to learn the hard way. I wouldn't create such amazing stuff in some of the stories that I do if my mind didn't need to go through that whole process of creating a story that didn't need to be so fucking long.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, we do that to ourselves and then we live it. And some
We
people
do.
don't end up getting it. But I feel like the world right now is getting it more and more than
They are.
ever before.
They are.
And that, I think, in my inner victim self is so happy about that because I don't feel so alone.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Now
know
we're
what I
all
mean?
coming together and we're like, hey,
Yeah.
and we don't need to do that victim thing anymore. Instead of making it about that, we can turn it into, and that's what it took me many years to get to that point where now I'm like, I don't need to have like 3 years of pain.
Mhm.
I'm going to feel what I'm feeling from this, and I'm going to go and I'm going to do something badass with
Right.
it now.
Right.
And people are learning that sooner, and I applaud them. I'm not even jealous of them. I'm just like, you're fucking awesome that you're able to do that right away. Let's all help each other.
Yeah.
now,
and,
you know?
and isn't it crazy? Like, I just thought of something else too. The blame game, blame is a much better feeling than guilt. So to feel guilty is
yeah.
really shitty. So it's very easy to blame other people.
Mm-hmm.
I default go to guilt because
Yes.
I'm the people pleaser. And
Yep.
I end up dating or having relationships, friendships with people that go immediately to blame. Great
Yes.
relationships, right? And I think that's what I'm starting to see the most of is if I can just get to a place of, if I can get to a place of a little blame and raise myself up from there and then let it go.
The balance.
There's something there.
Oh my God, yeah.
But there's this thing where we all do that. And even in stand up, one of the greatest things is as a comic, I get on stage and I tell my side, which has been very difficult for me because I am a people pleaser, and because I don't
Yeah.
because I'm the guilter. I mean, I'm the guilty. You know
Like,
what I
ooh,
mean?
what if I hurt somebody if I say this, is
Or
it like that?
because it doesn't resonate. It's not truth to me that all men are assholes. Because I
Yeah.
go, maybe I'm just weird, And so I'm trying to find through comedy that I'm like, I do have a point of view.
Yeah.
Guys can be dicks. And I'm trying to find these things where it's like what we were talking about before you sat down is finding that place inside to go, yeah, like guys say women are crazy, women say guys are stupid, but at the end of the day, we are kind of crazy because if we're staying in shit when we know that it is not working.
Yes.
What is the definition of crazy? Doing the same thing over and over
again, expecting
yeah,
different results.
Yes, and that is with a relationship or whatever. So guess what? If you do that, you are fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So hi,
Yeah.
crazy with a K.
Yeah, totally. And recognize that in yourself. Laugh it off once you finally figure it the fuck out.
Which is the most important thing.
and
is,
change it. Yes.
which is not
laughter.
beating yourself up.
Yes. Not
And-
beating yourself up.
So I'm just curious, like my listeners out there and stuff, like I get so many emails about people like connecting with something which I know that I'm going to get blown up with this one because so many people are going to have questions, but I'm really curious, like how many people do beat themselves up? And if you do, are you able to actually say, yeah, I beat myself up, and that's something that I definitely am working on. I might not be at a place where I'm able to let it go yet, but I don't want that shit in my life because it doesn't fucking feel good.
Yeah.
And on the at the same side, are you somebody that guilts? Are you somebody that's like, oh, that person did it to me? Or if you tell somebody your feelings and you're like, God, I'm really bummed I didn't hear from you. And you immediately go to, what? What do you mean? Am I ignoring you? What, you think I'm ignoring you? Why are
Yeah.
you saying? And if you're that, there's two sides to like the guilting part and then the blaming, or the guilter and the blamer, or the guilty. The
Anger. I
guilty-
think it comes from a place of anger because like fear breeds anger and guilt and shame breed, more guilt like within ourselves. So if we come from a place of making decisions off guilt,
It's probably why I was so angry growing up.
constantly people
Yeah.
pleasing. And if we come from a place of fear, we're constantly angry and we're blaming and we're all of those things. And then there's outside of that, which is pretty much what so many of us know, is making decisions based off of love.
Do you know at the end of the day, I'm hearing us talk and it's funny. At the end of the day, just chill the fuck out.
Just calm down. Yeah. Just relax.
Chill out.
I actually read a super cool quote that said, love yourself when you say something mean when you're drunk. Love yourself when you when you trip on the street while you're falling. Love yourself when you don't get the job. Love yourself when you got into a bad relationship. It was saying like all these things that we beat the shit out of ourselves for. Dude, just love. I tell everybody this. We're not on this earth for very long.
Right.
We're not.
Right.
So let it go. Let what you've done go. Let what other people have done go. If somebody's like seriously evil or not evil, or they're just hurting you, whatever it is, let them go. You don't need that in your life, right? Let them go with love.
Right.
Do everything with love. It doesn't have to be a blame game. It doesn't have to be all this shit, but be self-aware at the same time. Don't just let everything go and go, oh, don't be like that. Be self-aware, do things out of love, learn about yourself, fall in love with yourself.
Right. Because when you do, that shit isn't going to come in your life. And I don't believe so you've heard so many people, and I'm sure that you've dated women that you thought like were fucking evil. I've dated guys that I thought at a moment were so evil. Yet other people are like, they're amazing. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so to our experience of what's happening, we can absolutely experience that evilness, but that they're not evil. Like, I don't think that
maybe they were just super bad for
Right.
me. Like I've been very open-minded towards, because I've been wrong about people. There's another side of that. I've thought people are absolutely amazing, and I've defended them against people who are like, no, they were bad to me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? Look at all these awesome things they do, and they're so good to me. And and then years later, I learned, oh, now they've hurt me.
right.
So I've just kind of learned, I'm just going to stand back and not judge anybody anymore
take
on
it-
that
yeah.
level. It's not my job. I may not know the full ins and outs of their life. I'm just going to make decisions off of, I'm being hurt by you right now, or I'm not getting what I need out of it, or it's draining me or whatever. So I am not going to make you a priority in my life right now. And I'm going to serve me for me. And that way you're letting go of people and things with love, and you're acknowledging, hey, They could be evil. They could be just going through shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's not my business.
Yeah, like if it doesn't grow, let it go.
Yeah.
I just made
Hey,
that
I
up.
like that. I'm like, wait, I like that. If everybody could see my cheesy smile on my face right now. If it doesn't grow, let it go.
But you have to say it like a stoner.
Oh my God. That could be like such a really bad sex joke too.
Well, that's what I was just thinking too. I was just thinking, I was like, and it could also.
that could be like on lingerie or like a surfer shirt. Like, we don't know.
You don't know. It could, yeah, it
See,
could
everything's perspective.
It really
Everything's
is.
experience.
Yeah. I mean, I love, what I love so much about doing this podcast is I get to like kind of talk about my shit within the context of everybody else's shit. And
I
we
know, it's
all
super
talk about our
cathartic.
unfortunate choices, yet also our journeys and whatever. And I always try to keep my story, which I do even when I'm talking to people about stuff, is yes, this is what I'm doing, but this is the bright side.
Yes.
And the one thing that I judge most with people, which I'm really starting to see, are people that are really, and do you know why? Like super victim-y people that are like, just won't get out of the victim thing. And
Yeah.
I think I'm so judgy towards those people because that's who I used to be.
You had that.
and
It frustrates you.
and it frustrates me
Mhm.
because it's a mirror to something inside of
And
me.
you were like, ugh.
and
like,
it cringes me out.
yeah, it cringes you out. Yeah.
And it's really hard. And so and I'm having a harder time with the compassion on that, calling
Yeah.
that shit out right now.
you got to fake it till you make it with that one and kind of love them
Right.
anyway.
And-
because it's you that you'll be
because
loving.
because it's that part of me that like I'm like pushing away
Mhm.
and going, no, I'm fine. And like, no, actually, clearly I have some shit going on
Yeah.
still.
Yeah. I mean, something, was clearly done they went through some shit
Of
to
course.
be like
But
that.
I'm like, come on, what's
oh,
the
but
solution?
I'm so
What's the
hard. Oh my
solution?
God, I do the same thing. I'm really hard on people when it comes to that. And I'm like, if I went through this and this and this and I'm not an asshole now, you don't get to be an asshole.
And they're like, you're not me, bitch.
yeah. And I'm like, why am I even bossing people around? Like, first of all, I don't get paid for this. I don't get paid nearly enough for this. So like, it's not even my job.
Right.
And it's never my job at the end of the day. That's why I'm like, it's none of my business what people think about me. And it's clear, it's none of my business what people are going through. The best thing I can do is to be an example.
right.
And if somebody's really bothering me, I have compassion for everybody. But if somebody is too much, like if the energy is too much or it's too much victim energy, because I'm rough on those people too, because I was that too, I have to space a little bit. And I do it out of love, and I focus on me and stuff during that time, because I can feed into that a little
Right.
too much. I'm trying to just constantly remind myself lately, because I did just have a really rough year. I moved away for a whole year, and I'm trying to remind myself, don't judge what other people think or feel about you or their own lives or whatever the hell is going on is none of your business. It's my life is my life, and
Right.
and I'm going to fall in love with it and create new things and bring new people into my life that are positive and good and things like that.
Right.
Because
It's moving
that's
forward.
going to create a vibration that's going to be, I'm going to be a better example for the people that do read me. I want to be a good example.
Right. Well, when we were growing up, I know the sayings, the quotes, the things, money doesn't grow on trees. It's a wild goose
God.
chase.
Yeah.
Life is unkind, whatever. And whatever these things are, those are the things that we learned. And those are like, we came in going, okay, so it's really fucking scary, right? Like, because that, and like,
Yeah.
we're never going to succeed and things are not fair. Okay, got it.
Don't chase my dreams.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
You're never
Like,
gonna make it. Life is hard, and it's like okay, so somebody's like, oh my god, I feel like I'm in a wild goose chase. You're like, well, you're the wild goose.
Yeah.
So I think every one of those old quotes needs like a backup. If
Yeah.
you feel it's a wild goose chase, you're the wild goose.
Yeah.
Money doesn't grow on trees. We'll plant some motherfucking seeds.
Plant some fucking
or
seeds,
whatever. I guess if
like-
it doesn't grow on seeds, that doesn't make sense.
No, yeah.
But
money
anyway.
doesn't grow on trees. We'll come up with a good one.
Yeah,
for
you're
that.
like, well, duh, it doesn't. It's made in a factory. I don't know.
yeah, it's paper, dick.
No, but there's all of these things, and it's funny because I was born in the 70s, and all of that the new age shit didn't happen till the 80s, and
Yeah.
and it was still kind of like, I don't know, and everyone made fun of it, especially my family. It was like, oh my god, just like That was the stupidest thing in the world. So I learned that too. Like anything new age, was really judged, and they were weird people.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, oh my God, those people are weird. 'Cause I had an accent. And I would think that until I became one of them, and I'm like, oh, I am weird. But in a good way. But I think all of those things that were learned. I remember there was somebody that I'm dating, and I remember it's a really interesting example. We were making coffee one morning, and it's 2018. So we're making coffee, and the coffee hadn't finished brewing all the way yet, right?
Mhm.
And it was almost there. So I pulled out the coffee thing and I poured the coffee. He was like, don't do that. You can't do that. It's going to get everywhere. And I was like, I mean, he didn't talk like that, by the way, and being dramatic. But he was like, don't do that. You can't, it's going to get everywhere. And I was like, no, it's fine. He was like, no, you can't do that. And it wasn't dripping. It was fine.
Yeah, because the
But
machines are.
he got that, like, don't do that from his family or whatever it was and not realizing that technology has changed and shit's better now. And so this whole time since he was like a child, he has been like waiting for the fucking coffee to fill before he takes it out. I mean, he could have had a cup of coffee 5 minutes earlier. So I'm just, what I mean?
Because he's continued to believe what he's just
Right, and
learned.
he's-
It's just a
right.
fact.
It's just a fact. And sometimes we don't fact check or test it.
Yeah.
And I encourage every single person out there
Yes.
to challenge those facts, like challenge those facts, quote unquote, that you were taught, like pulling out the coffee maker or whatever the hell
yes,
it is.
fact check the fuck out of your fact check the fuck out of your mom, out of your dad, out of your higher power, out of your everything you've learned.
Yeah, those things that you're like, I don't know if this is my belief or not, but
Yeah.
if it doesn't feel good, I can pretty much guarantee your inner being is not in alignment with it.
Absolutely.
And I think that is just now what I'm starting to understand. And I'm on this path right now.
Yes.
But I'm evolving slowly
Yeah.
and or
Which is
having
how
epiphanies.
we're supposed to.
Yeah.
Because it's not supposed to be an easy process. You're supposed to learn slowly so that it truly soaks in and all that. I'm doing a very slow thing with myself right now, and it seems very simple. And I did another one years ago and you would think it was easy for people like us, but it's not. I would go to shop for clothes or to look at something that was certain colors, and I would ask myself, is green really my favorite color?
Right.
I would have to ask myself because I'm a people pleaser, right? So I have chosen things in lives throughout. I've lived many lives, and I have chosen things throughout my entire existence that matched or fit others. I've been a chameleon.
That's what my mom used to call
Yeah,
me.
I've been a chameleon, and I still to this day mistakenly do that. So, oh yeah, I like that song, and then later I go, why the fuck did I say that? I don't like that song.
I've done that before too.
It's almost
yeah.
default for me to respond that way to make people feel good about what it is they're telling me, when I could really just say, bro, like, I hate that song, but that's cool that you like it.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't give a shit. They'd be like, rad. She doesn't care. You know what I mean? They almost respect
It
you
feels
more.
and it feels better for us to be
Feels
able to
better
do
to
it
just be
too.
honest, you know?
Yeah, or oh hey, you know that movie, and you're like, yeah, that's a great movie. You've
You
never
have
even
no
seen
idea
it.
what they're talking about. And then they start asking questions, and then you feel stupid because now you have to participate in a
You're
conversation.
like,
that
I
you
think
don't
I
know
might have
about.
fallen asleep. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I'm not
then
sure.
you're lying.
Please
and
like
you
me.
Feel
Please like me.
shitty.
Yeah.
You feel shitty.
I did
so
that with
I've had to
bands,
ask
too.
myself, is that really my favorite color? Little things. I have started, and I encourage everybody to do this. Is this job, you work up from, is that really my favorite color? Is this really my favorite food? Do I really like that style of clothing? Or do I want to try something different today that I like and I think is cute? You know, especially
Right.
for people with self-image problems, that's big stuff.
Right.
Moving all the way up to, and eventually I got to, is this job really do I really like doing what I'm doing? Because
Am I happy?
money
Yeah.
is a big thing that we all
You
get
have to
taught.
go to
It's
college. and
important. Yeah, it's very important that you make six figures and you're more liked if you make
Right.
more money. And dude, just okay, throw all that shit out the window. What do you like? What do you love? What do you want? And that will wrap back around to, I mean, even my book right here. What do you want in your life?
Right.
And if you don't want it and it is not good for you and the people around you that you love, because if you're unhappy, it's going to affect the people around you. And we don't want to hurt the people around us.
We don't want to, and we certainly don't want to hurt ourselves, but you just hit something on the head, which is, what do you want? And I'll tell you, we all know what we want because we've experienced so much what we don't want.
Yes.
And
That's so spot on.
do you know what I
I'm
mean?
glad you said that.
And so there's like
It makes
that-
it so simple.
It's that other thing. So if you're and you're like, and if it doesn't feel good, you don't want it.
yeah, you don't want it.
And if like whatever that is, and usually like the judgy thing or whatever. And I think my mom used to be really mean to me about being victim-y. And so maybe there's a belief system there. Like she'd be like, oh, come on, you're such a martyr. And I'd be like, actually, I have kind of, I just wanted her to love me and have compassion and be like, baby, I am so sorry this happened.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was. And I didn't get it. And so I became more of a victim. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And then when I did or I wanted to talk, she'd be like, oh, Jesus, are we going to rehash this or whatever? And I
Oh my
go,
God, that's
and,
like the worst.
and it was really hard for me. And I would pick relationships very much like that as well.
So that you could try and maybe
Right.
I could get them to
Right.
love me.
But I think that I'm just having a little epiphany myself. I think I just said earlier that people that are victim-y are really annoying to me. And I think that's a belief system that I may have been carrying from my mom. It might not just be an awareness that I had it. I think it's one of those things I
Yeah.
need to fact check.
Totally. Yeah. Fact check.
And
it.
it's gonna, it's one of those things to go, let me get really fucking honest here. It's not her fault. I'm a grown ass woman.
Yeah.
It's time to make those decisions. And that's the other thing too. You can only be a victim for so long and blame people before you realize you're the problem.
Yeah.
So
you're your parent now. You know,
Yeah.
I tell people that sometimes, life is hard and sometimes we have to parent ourselves and that's okay. We're supposed to. There comes a point where we need to tell ourselves that is wrong. I've had to tell myself, Aaron, that is wrong for you. And
Yeah,
you
it's not
can't
the
go
right
and do
decision.
that
Yeah.
because it feels wrong. Don't you dare do that. And, the little kid in me was, I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? Because
yeah.
I'm used to pain and all of those things. And so nobody's here to abuse me. That's the other thing. Nobody's here to abuse me now. So I'm the only one left to do it.
Oh yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's
Yeah.
like, it's my job now. We carry all this shit. And really at the end of the day, and when we get hard on other people, we have something I like to remember. One way that everybody is the same is people just need to hear, I'm sorry you're going through that. You're
Right.
not alone.
Right.
And if that's all you can give them, believe me, that's enough. Some people don't hear anything from anybody.
Yeah.
In me moving around the country over the past year, I've learned there are a lot of lonely people in this world and everybody's so different. I experience the South, I experienced the Northeast, I experienced all sorts of different people, but all of them were the same in the sense of they don't want to feel so fucking alone. And I think that was our problems and a lot of artists is we felt alone when we were little because we just wanted to be told, no, you were hurt. I'm sorry. Like, come
Right.
here.
And that coupled with, I know I wasn't taught to find the connection, which I call it God, source and like source energy, God. And nobody explained to me that it was inside of me already.
Yeah.
And everything where I grew up was, there's a very Christian and everything was outside of myself. And I needed to pray and ask and plead. And then if I was good enough, then I
Outside
would
of
get
you,
it. And I
yeah.
did it. And then I have a little bit. So as far as I believe in everything, but as far as religion, I have a very hard time with the praying for something outside of me to give me something when I know that I'm a powerful being, and if I can connect with that, it's not that I need to beg and plead for it. It's there waiting for me.
It's there waiting for you.
And
Absolutely. Unless
people
it's
get mad
truly
at me for
bad for
that.
you. And then you will learn
Yeah.
down the road that there was a reason why the power greater than yourself didn't put it in front of you to help you. And then but you have to see it. 70 things could be put in front of you
Right.
universe wise. And if you don't see it, you don't see it. Like everything could be waiting for you, or some things might be waiting for you down the road because you have lessons to learn.
You just
know
need
what
to
I
match
mean?
up with the vibration to what
Yeah,
it is.
but
and yeah.
Praying for, I have a hard time with all of those things because of, I'm gay. So, that whole area, I've learned to let go a lot of
That's
the
a
bad
great thing. Yeah.
that's come with that.
Uh-huh.
And so that I don't have ill feelings towards any particular group of people
I understand that
may
very
have them
much.
towards me because
Yeah.
not everybody in a specific religious group thinks that way.
Of course not.
That's like duh.
But
And
they are
especially
going
in
off
the
of what
world.
they are taught.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they were taught. And that's okay. At the end of the day, I believe in a little bit of everything from everywhere. I think everybody's right in some sense about certain things. But I have my own higher power, and that's my business. And it's what I choose to call God for lack of a better word. You know what I mean? It's an easy thing to say, God. But I tell everybody, listen, as long as you don't think you're God, because clearly we, just find some power greater than yourself. It could be the ocean. It could be a freaking tree, something that you go and you talk to, or whatever. I'm not even telling people what to do. Just know that there is a greater energy and presence
To
out
connect
there,
to.
and we're not alone. That's what I'm trying to say there with that.
We all are.
and to
It's-
let go
yeah.
of any negativity with anything. Everybody's just trying to fucking make it, dude.
We all are in
like
it
to put it in the
together.
surfer simple shit again. We're all just trying to fucking make it.
Yeah.
To whatever making it is for us. If
Right.
it's a farmer or an actress or a comedian or a writer or my girlfriend, a tattoo artist, we're all just trying to do what we'd love to do,
Right.
and we're
Right.
trying to love ourselves in the process, which is super fucking hard.
And we have to and also getting through the shit that whatever our journey was and checking all that stuff. And I think the way to lift people up is going, what do I want? How can I love myself? And how can I connect
Yes.
how can I connect? Because, when people are like, oh my God, I miss you so much. And you can feel that missing. When you're really super connected, there's no way you're going to miss that. It's not going to be a pain
Yeah.
as much. It's going to be, this is here and I'm connected with my inner being, which is great.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Every time I say inner being, I see a shirt that has a bean on it. And this is so dumb. I don't know if it's out there, if anybody knows that. Every time I'm like,
inner being.
I crack myself up in my head like a 4-year-old going, inner being. I don't know what that is. I thank you for laughing at that because I'm so dad
maybe
jokey.
think of
It's
inner
ridiculous.
peas.
Yes,
At Trader Joe's.
Yeah, maybe that. Maybe, and I'm like an inner bean. I don't know.
Inner bean. I mean, well, that could.
It's so stupid.
It's funny. I'm
It's so
totally
dumb.
gonna. That should be just a T-shirt that
Yeah.
says "inner bean."
Just right. I love my inner bean, and I don't know. There's a bean. I don't know. Okay, it's so dumb.
I like that. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
All right, we'll make a T-shirt that says "I love my inner bean."
So, you have. You have. Do you know that we've been on this? We've been talking for an hour.
No way.
Yeah. I know. Time flies when you're having a fucking great time.
Yeah, I
doesn't
know it really does.
Um,
I get super passionate when I talk about letting anything with that kind of stuff
This
too.
is me too. Well, this is why you do what you do, and this is why you write so
Yeah.
fucking magically. Of course.
I'm so passionate about it, so I get
Seriously.
heated and
Can
I'm
we
like,
go do TED Talks all around the country?
That would be so cool. Oh my
We'll
god.
just- that's what.
Let's
yeah.
do it. We're gonna plan that next.
We're gonna plan
Watch
that.
out,
shit
everybody, because we are gonna be doing cool shit.
and it'll be
So-
called Inner Bean.
Inner Bean.
No, it's so stupid. It's stupid every time I say it. It
I
doesn't
would buy
get
a
funnier.
ticket to Inner Bean.
Yeah,
Are
it
you
doesn't-
kidding me?
It doesn't get less stupid. So I have not read your first book, but I want to get your first
Oh,
book.
I'll bring you a copy of it.
And that one sounds amazing. And
It's
that's the one that's the
506
menu.
pages.
You told me it was a
It's a
freaking
brick.
woof.
Yeah.
And this one is of something that you made so people can throw it in their backpack,
Yes.
in their purse.
Yes. Read it on a
and
plane.
Read it on a plane. And you just literally, do you know what I will use this for? It's one of those things where I'll close my eyes, I'll put my hand on it, and then I'll just open it up every once in a
Yes.
while and go, okay, let's see. This is the one that I just opened to. People are houses, darling, and you can fill them with light and music and laughter. You can unpack your things all you want, but if they're not for you, you will never feel at home.
Oh, yeah.
I
That's
just
one of my
got
favorite
goosebumps.
ones.
And holy crap, that is actually, it's funny. That's what got me obsessed with you. That quote right there.
Oh my
I
God,
saw it-
really?
Yeah. And I just
Ugh.
opened to that randomly. Had my eyes closed, y'all, had my hand on the book and opened to that one. And that's
See?
the one where I was
Vibes,
like,
energy.
and I remember I was like, whoa,
Whoa.
dude.
Yeah.
I was like, this is amazing.
And we literally were just talking about that too for the longest time.
Yeah.
Forcing people to love you. Listen, if it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah, it's like, it's if it's not gonna happen, it's not gonna happen, and you can't force it to
Yeah.
happen. But you can't force anything to happen because that's just resistance anyway. But when you let go and you don't have that resistance, shit comes a lot easier and it feels a lot better.
And better shit might come.
It always
Like,
does.
well, usually it's always better shit that comes, and you're like, wow, why did I push for this for so long when this was waiting for me right on the other side of the
Because
door?
you just
like,
weren't ready, but people can get ready to
Yeah.
get ready to get ready.
Yeah.
Right? And that's what we're doing. And that's
God
what
knows we're good at that.
and that's what we're doing. Every day I'm getting ready to get ready. I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm getting ready to get ready.
Get ready to get ready.
And then when you know you're ready, that's when your shit comes in.
Yep.
Or your ship.
Yeah. I see. I should have known right from the beginning. We were joking the other day. My birthday was a week ago, and
Happy
my
birthday
thank
to
you.
you.
But my mom said I was due on the 4th of July, and I came on August 4th. And I'm like, see, it takes me a long fucking time to be ready.
That's really funny.
And I'm pretty sure it's because it was the 80s and they weren't good at time yet. But I believe
She's like, I just didn't know how to read a calendar. Yeah.
whoops. And I'm like, no, it took me a while to come out because I knew how hard shit was going to be. And I just wanted to stay in there with myself for a little while
Yeah.
longer. And I'm late to everywhere and it takes me forever to be ready.
That's really
because
funny.
that's just who I am. But yeah, I did make this book so that everybody could put it in their bags and read it. I actually had a girl tell me that she read it 4 times.
I'm sure.
In one day.
Yeah.
And she was like, I need this. And she bought another one for a friend of hers who
You
was going
guys
through a hard time.
out there, my I'm Finers out there, my audience, my loves, I swear to you, please get this book. I haven't been so passionate about another human being and their work. I don't know when actually.
That's the biggest
Than I
compliment.
am with Erin
Yeah,
and
thank
you.
Yeah.
So you can go to her website, which is erinvanvuren.com, and go follow her on Instagram at Papercrumbs. And then you can get all of her information. I mean, just get the book. Get the book. And you have like a really cool little thing going on PayPal right now, right?
Yeah, PayPal's the biggest discount. And what that does is it gives me a bigger royalty. And for you get it at a discount. It takes like a week extra for you to get it or something like that, but it's worth it because we both end up winning in the end as opposed to getting it. But you can get it at my other links too if you want it faster for somebody's birthday or something like that. But the big discount is on PayPal.
Okay, so I ordered a book, right?
Yeah.
I ordered a book. It's going to be here. Erin just brought me a book that she's going to sign for me. And so I'm going to say this right now just to wrap this up. I want emails from you guys of something that you are going to get ready to let go of today. And I am going to look at all of those and I'm going to pick one of you and I'm going to send you my copy.
Yep.
And I'll have Erin sign that one
Awesome
too.
idea.
And then I'll send it to you. So send me the emails to, info at I'm Fine with Krista Allen and tell me and Erin what you are letting go of, even if you're just getting ready to get ready to get ready.
Yes.
To get ready to get ready.
To get ready.
You're fucking awesome.
You're
dude.
awesome.
All right.
Best time ever.
Thank you. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
She's fine. She's fine.
It's Dragon Wagon.